Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to IG8Live Esports. We're live this evening with INTERSTELLAR Racing League here for round 10. I think it's the final round for this current season that they're running here for the British Grand Prix, getting started with a bit of a different session format than we're usually used to. So we'll be doing an 18-minute qualifying session as a short qualifying session and get to a 50% race, and then I believe we are going to be having a 5 lap sprint race just afterwards, so not going to take too long, but going to be quite interesting to see how that actually works out. That goes well. So in the meanwhile, we do have some cars getting out on track here at the moment in terms of getting their out lap started, and in the meanwhile they're doing that, I think we're going to have a quick look at the standings if we can here for what happened for the previous 9 races of that. So after round 9 of their last race, this is currently season 3 that they have here at INTERSTELLAR Racing. So currently they have Dino leading in the Williams, 176 points, a decent lead that he does have against Rhino in the Alpine, who's currently second, 145.5. Got Jake Kelly currently third in the Aston Martin, 121, and not too far off with the rest of the grid on that championship going there, because Donner's down to 4th with a 119. Then Humble Hippo in 5th currently has a 112. We got Toys R Us in 6th in the Ferrari on 90 points so far on that. 87 for Rami there in 7th. Kraken currently 8 with 85. So both Alfa Romeo kind of back to back with each other there, so not too far off in terms of teammates, just 2 points separate them. Gonna be a bit interesting with that as well. So we got Aaron there in 9th, currently 63.5. Drew down to 10th in the Aston Martin, 33 points. West in 11th, 34 points. Got Scuba 12th in with the Mercedes as well, 30 points. So Mercedes once again side to side with each other, same as we got the Alfa Romeo guys there. And Hammer there 13 and with 22 points. Got Blumchum currently 14th with 21. I think Aaron Riley currently, I think I'm gonna mix this a bit. I know, I think Aaron Riley with 15 points as it did. Wolsey down to 16th with 7 points. Davin with only 8 at the moment. Doesn't look like Northern Star has any points. Hopefully getting some points here in this session, but we'll see how it plays on through. So let's get that off screen, and we should be able to get back our stats on screen here and have a look at what's happening. So of course some purple sector is going to be seen on track here as we get through these opening qualifying laps here. So let's see where he is at the moment. So we're on with Aaron here, so let's see. I think we should have a pretty good lap from him in the Red Bull. Not sure, we'll see how well that goes. So far looking pretty good in terms of him getting through this lap. So I'm just checking something on that. I think we're good so far. So let's see where Aaron goes at the end of this here. Looking pretty good in terms of getting through sector 3. Doesn't seem to have invalidated that lap at any point as he gets through that. A bit tight on the curb there as he exits that corner around the final turn. So should have a pretty good lap in. Let's have a look what it is. It's a 128.9 for Aaron so far. Trying to see who's going to be our next driver to get across the line there. Should have some more other drivers be getting across pretty soon. Trying to have a look. I think yeah, because Ben Harvey gets across at 130.5 for him. Not too bad of a time so far as he goes to get a Mercedes, I believe, getting across there. Someone did get across. Yep, that was Scuba there, 129.1. Wolsey goes third, 129.6. They're going to mix the order up just a bit as they do get through these laps here. Of course, we're going to see maybe a mix of strategies with them. We already got some on the mediums and some on the softs trying to get the laps. We'll see how that works out. Most seems to be trying this on the soft tires at the moment I'm going. Ryan up into P4 now, 130.4. We're on with Northern Star at the moment. See where he goes by the end of this current lap though. Getting through into sector 3 now. Hopefully he gets a pretty good lap in as he finishes this off. And hopefully not an invalidated lap at this point. Looks like Aaron holds on to fastest lap in the session so far. That's going to lead to provisional pole if that can hold all the way through to the end of qualifying, which we are quite sure it might not. Just depend, but it is a 128.9 with the rest of the grid not entering into the 128s right about now. So we'll see how that works out. McLaren driver kind of messes up that lap there on the final sector just a bit. See if what the time is. Not going to be a best time, 132.5. That one here in the next Red Bull about to get across the line. Let's see where he goes compared to his teammate who is currently on a provisional pole for the start of the British Grand Prix. But Not too far up, but I think it's decent so far. 130.869, 600 of a second down from what Humble Hippo has there in P6 so far. So let's see how the rest of that works on through. Let's go down to the bottom here where Blumchum at the moment in the Alpine. See where he goes by the end of his lap, getting through sector 3 at the moment. There are going to be some corners on this track here, so it's not going to be a bit difficult for these guys to get themselves through, especially with overtaking. And hopefully going to be a dry session all the way through for them, because not sure if they have brought a wet setup into the session as it is. Generally, drivers do have just a dry setup to work with, and just hope that the race session itself becomes dry, even if we do start off with a wet qualifying. But as we are right now, it looks quite sunny, and we are still dry getting all the way through. Blumchum now fastest in the session, so that's professional pole taken away there. Goes to him now with a 128.7, 2/10 faster than what Aaron did, and I think that's going to hold up pretty well. There's the Ferrari driver, invalidated lap there. We're going to Drew Cam here. Drew in the Aston Martin. His teammate, where is his teammate? Jay Kelly there, still in the pits. See how that's going to work as these guys do get started on their laps. We still got some time left, just about 11 minutes 10 seconds and under now remaining here for the qualifying session, and then we do get to get straight over into that race session. Always exciting with a short qualifying session, because you do get to that race start pretty quickly, which is usually what we're looking forward to. But of course, a lot of pressure on drivers in terms of getting a really good lap in, because there's just a lot of cars on track at the same time. We got 15 drivers in this session, so hopefully all goes pretty well. So far so good. We got 9 drivers at lap times in at the moment, so we're trying to see if that's going to work all the way through. We got an invalidated lap there from Drew. Gonna have to try it again and hopefully get a better lap in. Where is Northern Star? I think he's definitely is trying another lap here at the moment. We'll see if that's actually working out with him there or not, because can be a bit difficult. Looks like he invalidated that lap there as well, so we're gonna have to try it again. That one there up to P5 at the moment in a Red Bull, trying to see if he's going for another one. He might just be going for another lap. See how that's actually gonna work out. So far Blumchum still fastest here in the session. I'm looking pretty good at it as well. 2/10 faster than Aaron there in second, so 128.7. I think that's going to hold pretty well for now. 10 minutes remaining in the session though, so it's still a lot of time for drivers to possibly get ahead of him in terms of a lap time here. He did it on the softs. Let's see if anyone can get past that before we get off to the end of this session. So far it's looking pretty good for him, but might actually have to get a faster lap in. Alright, so he goes back into the pits. Let's see who else is getting out for a lap right now. Looks like Angry Dutch Fight might be getting out for a out lap right about now there in the AlphaTauri. See what kind of lap he can get in here. Hopefully a pretty good one. Might get himself somewhere in the top 5 maybe. Just depends on how well this qualifying lap is gonna go. Looking pretty calm getting through that out lap at the moment there. They do tend to just try to keep it as clean as possible in the out laps as well, just trying to heat the tires up as much as they can. Usually keep it on a low fuel or mixture getting through the out laps, just to make sure they put it on high going through the qualifying lap itself. One of the DRS zones right here that's going to be quite useful during the race session itself, with drivers trying to get their overtakes done. We'll see how well that's going to work out as they do get started on laps. So getting through sector 3 right now, about to get started on that lap, so let's see what that's going to leave him. Scuba there on a lap right about now. Ryan on another lap at the moment too, I think. Let's see how all of that is currently going. Where is Ryan currently in the Alpine? And looks like he invalidated that lap. Unfortunately, we'll have to give that another go. Goes quite a bit wide there. Bailey brings the car back. Doesn't want to DNF this on the session here, because that's not going to end up too well. Back down to Angry Dutch guy here in the AlphaTauri, getting through sector 1 right about now. Let's see if he's going to get any purple sectors on this current run here. Down to 8 minutes just under that remaining here for the short qualifying session before we head off into the race session itself. And welcome to all of our viewers currently live with us on the stream. Remember guys, we're on with the Interstellar Racing League, round 10 at the moment for the British Grand Prix, and just having a look at Angry Dutch Guy getting through his qualifying lap here, or attempting to get a first lap time in for the session, down to 7.5 minutes now remaining. Starting to run out of time just a bit. It was a total of 18 minutes here for qualifying. That is going to go away pretty quickly. That's with 15 cars running here on track. No purple sectors sighted so far here on this current lap, so let's see what's going to happen as he finishes it off. Hopefully gets at least one purple sector, maybe, or still gets a good lap in. We'll see how it works out. Blumchum on another outlap there. We can see right now 128.7 holds him onto provisional pole right about now, but he's going to want to keep that going into the start of this race, so let's see what's going to happen. Got quite a few 129s and 130s here. I think we're sticking right around that area, but so far looking pretty good. Not too bad with our 15 drivers in. Hopefully we can have all 15 finish this race, but of course this is Silverstone. A lot of things can happen or even go wrong during the session. Instead of a 132.1, not the best of lap there from Angry Dutch Guy, down to 11th with that. And let's see if he can get a faster lap in or not. On Blumchum on top here, he currently is still on his lap. So let's see if he's going to be able to improve his current time here. At the moment looking pretty good on this lap here, but I've seen a purple sector 1. So I highly doubt he's actually improved on that sector. Let's see what sectors 2 and 3 are going to look like as he gets around here. I think he definitely wants to hold on to provisional pole as he finishes off this lap here. Doesn't seem like that was a purple sector either. Still running pretty good throughout though, but as long as he hasn't invalidated, it could still end up being maybe just a bit of fast lap, but I think he's given up on that. He's going back into the pits there, and hopefully going to try for a better lap. Toys R Us goes P5 so far here in the Ferrari. Getting off track a bit here right now. 129.6 pulls him up into that. Going to hold it at least for now. Got Aaron getting out on a lap there right about now. About to get started pretty soon, I assume. Let's see what's going on track here. Getting a bit off track actually. So hopefully does get a pretty good lap in. We can see a few of these cars doing their laps though on the medium tires here. That's our fastest time that they've gotten so far, because I think we do have it on best. Yep, we do. So let's see but the strategy is going to be an interesting 20-something laps around the track here, and I want to see if they're trying to start the race on the mediums or start the race on the softs and do a medium soft or soft medium strategy. I think it's just going to be a one-stop strategy we might be looking at for this race, getting through it. So let's see what that's going to work out. We got Scuba getting out on an out lap as well. He's currently in turret. On the mediums he did his lap, so I want to see how well that works out for him, if he's going to make a change and go on to maybe a different set of tires to get the next lap. And let's have a look. Is he on? He is on the soft tires right now to try to get a much faster time in. Let's see if that's going to work. A 128.772 is fastest so far. Let's see if he's able to beat that. Still quite away from getting started on that lap though. Got a few more cars getting out. I got Jay Kelly and Hammer getting out on track right about now. Want to see what those laps going to look like when they do get started on them. So we'll have a look at that in just a bit. Just keep an eye here on the Mercedes. See how this current lap is going to go. When he does get started on it, just waiting to see what's going to happen with all of this. And hopefully he can achieve maybe at least one or two purple sectors. Might help him move up maybe to second, even if he doesn't get all three. But we'll see how that's going to work. Could still potentially get this car onto a provisional pole for the start of the season. Right down to the end of the session right now, because just I think it's a few minutes left, down to 3.5 minutes remaining right about now. So let's have a look as he gets started on this lap here right now. Let's see where this is going to take him. Flat out through turns 1 and turns 2, getting into turn 3. Always a bit of a heavy braking zone through this. Going to be interesting at the start of the race there as well. Got to be careful with those curves as you get on through. That kind of harassed it just a bit there, but I think got through it pretty well. Like a split second too late getting back onto the power, but back on here in the DRS zone, and he's a pretty good overtaking spot as well. Uses as much of the track as he can, getting through. Can invalidate if you're not careful through around these portion of the track here, and yeah, so far so good on the lap as he gets on through it. Haven't seen a proper sector, but hopefully he does get a pretty good lap in. back onto the starting straight down at the back of the track and gets around. Usually flatter through that section of the track if you can get it right. It does get a bit difficult with that sometimes. Takes it a bit easy through magazine limits as well. And one more DRS zone down at the back of the track here in sector 3. And he got a purple sector 2, so not too bad on the current lap as the have it here. Still stands a pretty good chance of getting onto provisional pole. We'll see how he ends up this current lap here. I'm gonna have a look at some of our drivers currently at the back, trying to get the final laps in. Gets through the final 2 turns here to get back onto the start finish straight, and let's see how that lap actually went. And gets up into second, so not a bad lap from him so far. I think that's gonna hold up pretty well. Let's get back to the these cars on the back here. Where are they at the moment? So I think we're on with Jay Kelly and Hammer here. See where their lap is gonna go as they finish this off. So currently Jay Kelly into 14th on the grid. Want to see if he's able to get a faster time, and does go quite a bit wide. I'm surprised that was not any valid lap. I think he barely got it back on track in time there. Almost could have caused a DNF as well here in the session. We're right down to just about I guess about a minute and a half or a minute or so probably left here in qualifying. Not a lot of time as far as I know to get through this. So they possibly have just maybe one lap to get this right. Looks like that Red Bull trying to get a bit of a toe down behind the Aston Martin there of Jay Kelly as well. Let's see how well that's going to go for him. Getting through the final few turns, and let's see what that lap is going to look like. Hopefully he gets a pretty good lap in. Fastest lap still held by Blumchender, 128.7, down to just a minute left in qualifying. Can do one more lap, and it's a 129.590. Up into P6 for him. Not too bad so far as he has it there. So Blumchender still on provisional pole, less than a minute remaining in qualifying. Scuba up to second, Aaron down to third, Walsey fourth, Humble Hippo in fifth, Jay Kelly in sixth, Gatters Ross in seventh, Davon in eighth, Ryan down to ninth, Northern down to 10th, Ben Harvey down 11, Hammer made 12 with his lap time that he did. Then we got Angry Dutch guy in 13, Drew Cam back into the pits, hasn't got a lap time in as yet. Got Dino there out on an out lap in the Williams, invalidated on that current lap so far, so I think he's still, no, he's getting started on his lap right about now with 26 seconds remaining. So final chance to actually get a lap time in here. Let's see if he's possibly going to get one in or not. I'm going to keep it on the keep the list up just to see what's happening in terms of tires and whatnot, what's going on. Looks like the top 6 currently on the soft tires at the moment. I'll get back onto this, and I think we're out of time here with qualifying right about now. So Drew Cam didn't get a lap in, unfortunate for Drew. Let's see if Dino and the Williams can get a lap in. Final chance to do this here as he's getting through sector 3 right about now. Didn't pay attention if he had any proper sectors. Most of our drivers have finished already. Toys R Us and Humble Hippo still running on track, along with Blumchum. They're still holding on to provisional pole. Got a faster time in though, 128.499 now, and held up pretty well with that. Into 10 goes the Williams, and that's a 129.9. Will hold up at least for now. Where is the Ferrari? Running slow on track, not getting a faster time in. On with the McLaren though of Humble Hippo here. Let's see if this lap is going to go any faster than what it currently is. Currently 7th on the grid for the start of the race, and with a 129.4. It needs to improve a few tenths here to get somewhere up into P4. So if he can, I think he did improve going to P4. Let's have a look at the results in just a bit. Let's see what happened with that, but so far I think he did get a faster time in. Alright, so there we have it. So, provisional pole on with Blumchum. There's going to be starting P1 on the grid in the Alpine. Got a Mercedes Scoop is starting second alongside him. Not too far off, 3/10 off in terms of lap time there. We got Aaron starting third. Walsey will be in 4th. Humble Hippo in 5th. Ben Harvey 6th. Ryan 7th. Jay Kelly in 8th. Toys R Us in 9th. Dino in 10th. Davon 11th. Northern Star in 12th. Got 13 for Hammer there. 14 Angry Dutch Guy. And what else we got? We got True down to 15th. Are we missing someone? No, not. Sorry. I thought we did miss someone. So Humble Hippo did get up the 5th on that one there. So I think we're going to head over to the race session right about now and get started with the 50% race. Should be an interesting session. Let's see how well that opening lap is going to go. If we can have a safety car, VSC, or just yellow flags, or get quite a clean start all the way through. Could go either way here. Okay, so on with the formation lap that we did have. I was hoping that we would have had one. Let's get everything on screen. We can have a look at what tires and whatnot look like around this track right about now. So 26 laps around the Silverstone circuit here for the British Grand Prix. About to get started with that. We got Blumton starting P1. Scoop is going to start in the front row alongside him. Got Aaron starting third. Walsey in fourth. That's the second row. We got Humble Hippo and Ben Harvey on the third row. Ryan and J. Kelly on the fourth row. We got Torres Rosandino on the fifth row of the grid. That one on Norton on the sixth row. We got Hammer and Angry Dutch Guy 7th row, and Drew down in 15th, down in the back of the grid. Didn't get to set a lap time in, so hopefully he has a pretty good start. It's quite flat out through turns 1 and 2, as we saw on board with one of the cars there on the track. So it's going to get a bit interesting to see. It is a bit of a tight squeeze getting through turn 1 as well, so not a lot of cars can go side by side through that, so they're going to have to be a bit careful in terms of that opening lap. We'll see how well they actually manage it. We got our top 8 drivers starting on the soft tires there. Going to prove for some interesting racing. We got 9th and 10th with Torres Rosandino starting on the mediums. Northern Star as well on the mediums there in 12th, and the rest of the grid down in the back on the softs. So majority of our drivers starting on the softs, running a shorter stint on the opening portions of this race. And I think, yeah, see, this should be a one-stop strategy here for this. Trying to have a look if we can, if that's going to bring up. Not showing us that. Anyway, let's let that be as we're getting through the final sector on the formation lap here right about now, and should be getting started quite shortly here as these cars all get back sorted on the grid. And there we go. So one-stop strategy for these guys here on this race. 26 laps. Going to be a short stint for those on the softs. Going to be a bit of a longer stint for those on the mediums. And let's see what's going to happen. Soft tires, of course, the red ones are much faster than those mediums. That's the yellow ones. And we do have the white wall tires there. That's the hards. Can last actually a bit longer than the other two. But this race, I think most of these drivers might be attempting to run it the way it is there right about now. I think we got everything set as we need. We're going to be on board with the Mercedes a little bit here, so Scuba and Blumchum, and see how well this goes between those two for the start, then switch it back over to have a look on everyone else going through the while we get, hopefully our grid order does not get mixed up. We're waiting for those lights to start to go. So as you see, not a long run into turn 1. These two definitely going to end up side by side into it. Let's see who gets a better start though. Looks like the Mercedes does get a better start as the Alpine kind of went a bit bad off of that. So we're going to have cars all over the track to see who gets a better run down to this. Looks like Scuba's already done quite a few positions, and we got a few cars up positions down in the back of the track there, trying to get back on, and hopefully didn't take any damage through that. Didn't see a yellow flag situation happen, but I think we might have had some minor contact as they all got on through. Blumchum still leads the race. Aaron up a position. We got a McLaren spun around. I think that was possibly Northern started, spun a wrong back, and hopefully gets back going. We'll see how well it actually works for him. Blumchamp still leads. Aaron up in second. We got Humble Hippo up 2 positions into third. Walsey into fourth. J. Kelly up into fifth already. Ryan running sixth and trying to switch it with Scuba here for that position. Going behind, just behind each other. See how that's going to work out. Looks like Scuba gets back up into sixth so far. Ryan's at 10 behind though. Angry Dutch guy out of the race. Something's happened down in the back of the track with him. And that's led to a virtual safety car here on lap 1 of 26. They're going to have to slow their speed down by about 40%, and any speeding will result in a drive-through penalty, which definitely at this point in the race is going to hurt them. Not sure if anyone's going to want to do a pit stop around here at this point in the race. It's only lap 1 and only a VSC, so I highly doubt they're actually going to go to that. But so far so good on the race start as we have it. Let's switch this on over to penalties and leave it at the start. I mean, the majority of our drivers are on those soft tires as it is there right about now. Trying to bring this back up here. Have a look what's happening out in front. So Blumchamp still leads the British Grand Prix. Aaron up into second. Quite a few position changes. Kelly do a 5-second penalty, which will probably have to serve under his pit stop. He can have a 5-second stop go penalty served there, and I think that's what's going to happen for him to get rid of that. We're still waiting for the VSC to be over here, and it's officially over back green again. And into lap 2. So let's see what the rest of the race actually goes on to. Someone got a drive-through penalty. Yes, as the VSC was ending, and that was Ben Harvey. Unfortunately, he has 3 laps in order to serve that penalty or face being disqualified from the race at this point here right about now. Trying to follow on with what's happening in the midfield here. Let's have a look on board with the Ferrari. Has a bit of a gap down to the cars behind here, so I think out in front we do have a close gap with our top 4 drivers so far, and looking pretty good. The Ferrari trying to catch back up here to the McLaren of Humble Hippo. I think it's about a 5-10 gap, not too far off. Scuba down to 7, started second on the grid, didn't have the best start going after turn 1, had a better start than Blumchamp, but still didn't get past. I think he got caught up with a few cars who got side by side with him through sector 1 itself. We'll see how he's going to come back from that actually here. And already currently at the moment he's trying to follow on with the Alpine of Ryan to trying to get past him. We'll see if he's going to be able to pull that off or not. The gap is about 4/10 right about now between us. So I think I'm going to go back down here and have a look at what's happening. So Mercedes chasing after Ryan at the moment. Under a lot of pressure here because, of course, Scuba seems to have a bit more pace on the track as well. Did qualify up into second. So let's see if he's able to pull and overtake here on the Alpine, or if Ryan is going to be able to hold them back up there in 7 for now. Blumchamp fastest lap, of course, on track. Now goes the Humble Hippo. That might be switch around just a bit as we getting started with this race right about now. Looks like Dino there, a 5-second penalty as well. That's going to be served under his pit stop and be gotten rid of. We're going to try to minimize penalties as much as we can here. Ben Harvey, of course, still with that drive-through penalty, still limited about just under 3 laps to serve it. Otherwise, gets disqualified. Let's see when he does do that. He might wait until the 3rd lap itself to actually serve that drive-through penalty. We'll see what's going to happen as it is there right now. But so far, so good as we continue on with this race. Out in front, though, I want to see what's happening with Aaron and Blumchamp at the moment. That Red Bull catching up to the Alpine very, very quickly. Gap is already down to close to about 3/10. And I think he's even closing it even more right about now. Of course, DRS is going to be online from this lap onwards, so they're going to have that advantage if they're running within a second of the car in front of them to have the DRS advantage along the 2 DRS traits we have on the track here. And of course, it does be quite an advantage for cars getting around. Also with the slipstream, and they also have their ERS to use on the car. So putting all that together, quite a bit of an advantage. We got a purple sector 2 coming off of Aaron's current lap here, and he's trying to pull around the outside of the Alpine already. Looks like Blumchamp is losing that race lead there right about now. Let's see if he's able to get it back. So quite an impressive overtake from Aaron. He's up into the lead. Blumchamp down to second. Seems to have let it go so far. Let's see if he's going to try to get this back, and that gap has not gone over a second, so still has a pretty good chance of getting this done. Aaron fastest lap so far. Hasn't switched over to Blumchamp at the moment, so he is possibly losing some time here. Not sure if he's trying to save some fuel for the rest of the race, but we'll see what the strategy is going to be as he gets on through this. But keeping the gap under a second does mean that he keeps getting the DRS advantage. And I think he's lost a bit of time there, got a bit quickly off that exit, trying to get back into the range here, and he's down to back to over 6/10. Aaron trying to keep him out of the slipstream, pulling to the left side of the track and then pulling back to the right, but still didn't seem to do him much good because gap has come back down to about 4/10 between the Red Bull and the Alpine of Blumchamp here. Looks like he might stand up a good chance of getting back that lead. I think both of them might want to think about avoiding penalties at this point here as well. Looks like Scuba in the Mercedes finally got past Ryan down at the back there. He's up into 6, but a gap of about 5 tenths to the car behind. Torres, Russ, and Hammer going under the bit here. 2-10 gap between them. Also Ben Harvey following on behind that. He of course still has to serve the drive-through penalty. Only on lap 4 of 26. So still another 22.5 laps to go before we come off to the end of this race. Then we still have that 5-lap sprint race to do just after this. With a reverse red start from results coming off of the feature that we're having here right now. So let's see how that works out. But for the moment, we're focusing a bit on this gap up to about 8 tenths between these two out in front for the lead. Lumtum still trying to fight to get this back. He needs to keep that gap within a second if he's going to try to even get back the lead here. Scuba and Ryan still going at it here up in sector 3 right about now. Looks like he might try to break him on the inside. Actually thought about it, but didn't actually go through with that. Gets right up to the back of the Mercedes here though. Right now with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane while serving a drive-through penalty in the pit lane. Not a good move from him on that one there. So let's see what that's going to go on through. Ryan having some trouble going further through turn 1 there at the moment. Have to take exactly a correct line, I think, just to get on through that, to get to go flat out, because you do lose some time when you can't actually pull that off. And he's trying to keep up with Scuba at the moment, and looks like he's losing the rear end of the car. Not sure if it's a bit of oversteer, understeer on that car, but he's losing the rear end, getting off some of these turns. He has to be careful for that. Might be having some problems in terms of his tires. Maybe, I'm not sure if they're already starting to go off on him already. Still a 26 lap race, has a long way to go before we do get to the end. And I think he's pushing as much as he can. Out in front, Aaron still leads the race in the Red Bull. Blomstrom in the Alpine still in second, trying to catch back up. Gap up to 1.1 seconds at the moment. So both Alpines struggling to get an overtake done here at the moment. So see how that's going to continue on through as the race goes on here. Ben Harvey took his drive-through penalty, got a 5-second penalty for speeding in a pit lane, and still has to deal with that. Got about 4 drivers so far with penalties. Jay Kelly all the way up into fifth at the moment with a 3.9 second gap. See if he's able to close that up. Another 3-second penalty goes to Ben Harvey there. 8 seconds total for him now. So hopefully he's able to get rid of that at some point. We'll see how that's going to go. We got another virtual safety car here. Something's happened to someone on track. I'm trying to figure out who that is. Got Ryan trying to keep as close as he can to this Mercedes right about now. I think they might have been hoping for a full safety car, maybe to go on to the mediums. Who knows what it is going to be, but let's see what's going to happen, because these guys keeping as close of a gap as again. Wolsey catching up to the McLaren of Humble Hippo in front of him. Got Blumstrom trying to keep up a close gap, 1.2 seconds right about now. She needs to get that under a second before this VSC is actually over and we're back racing again. We got DRS is currently back online, so we're back racing again. Track is green, and they're going to go for the overtakes once more. 3:10 gap between Ryan and Scuba here. Iran and Blumstrom out in front. 8 tenths is what it is. Only down to a 10th right about now as the Alpine goes side by side with the Mercedes. Looks like he's going to get by. Now, a bit of contact between them doesn't result in any damage as the Alpine outbreaks Scuba there in the Mercedes, and he gets by back up into 6th. Aaron with a 3-second penalty out in front, starting to feel a bit of pressure, I think, from Blumstrom there after being chased for so long. 8 tenths is where the gap is. He's got his first penalty. That's possibly going to cost him a race win here. Just depends on what the strategy change might have to be for him to cover that. Humble Hippo now getting a penalty as well. You got to be extremely careful with that, because they're going to have some trouble in terms of keeping their positions at the end of this race. A 4:10 gap between these two here. Still trying to fight on through for P6 is what it is they're fighting for right now. Scuba of Source gets a penalty. Got Humble Hippo losing the car itself here. I don't know if he had contact with anyone, but he's lost the car. He's off track. He's getting back on right now in P5. We got a yellow flag situation there as Ryan and Scuba Steve come up behind him. Let's have a look what's happening out in front here. Did we have someone do a pit stop? I'm not 100% sure. Blumstrom out back into the lead. Aaron down to 4th, so I'm not sure what happened to him. Doesn't seem to have any damage on the car. Does he have any damage on the right side? Is what I'm trying to look at. And nope, front wing seems perfectly fine. Might have just made a mistake, which now puts Blumstrom back up into the lead. And I think a comfortable lead is what he has, because 6 seconds is the car behind of him. I think he's going to be pretty happy about that. We're going to go back down with Ryan and Scuba at the moment to see what's happening. Actually, let's have a look at Aaron, because he's trying to catch up to Jay Kelly here and trying to get past him. And this is going to be for P3, of course. So let's see how that's going to work out. Of course, Jay Kelly here chasing after Walton. This is for 2nd place in the race, because a 1.4 second gap he's trying to bring down. Let's see if he's having any luck getting through that here or not at the moment. Gap down to about 1.3 seconds, so has gained a bit of time under pressure from the Red Bull behind, who's now going to try to get alongside him. So side by side, those two go. The Red Bull has the inside, gets the overtake done. He's up into P4. Sorry, P3. So JK down to 4th. So he's lost out on a podium position here. Potential podium position, actually. Let's see if he's able to get that back. Has a 5-second penalty. Car in front of him with a 3-second penalty. What's happening with these two here right about now? Looks like Ryan going into the pits, gonna get off those soft tires, gonna get onto possibly a set of mediums or maybe a set of hards. Let's see what the change is gonna be, because it's only 8 laps done in the race so far. Still got quite a way more, at least 18 laps or so to go as he gets back out. So can he pull off 18 laps on those mediums is what I'm trying to think right about now. Did he take any damage? Doesn't seem like he did, because he's not changing that front wing, so didn't take any damage on the car. So diving into the pits already. Let's see what's happening out in front here. We got a bit of a close gap between a few cars. Out in front, though, Blumcham still leads against Wolsey by 6.2 seconds. Wolsey, of course, under pressure from the Red Bull of Aaron down behind of him, followed by J. Kelly there in 4th. Let's see how that's working out with him. Back with this, Wolsey under pressure to lose 2nd place in this race so far. If that Red Bull is able to get by, of course, we have J. Kelly in the Aston Martin coming behind of that battle as well. So let's see if he's able to get an overtake done as these two follow on behind of him. I'm trying to have a look what's happening. So it looks like Wolsey goes into the pits. J. Kelly continues to follow on behind the Red Bull. So Aaron is now up into 2nd. J. Kelly up into 3rd. Wolsey into the pits. Let's see where he comes back out. And Scuba on the threat from the Ferrari behind of him. It's a few tenths. Let's see how he's getting on with that there. Go down to the back of the grid here. Actually have a look at Dino at the moment in the Williams. He's chasing after Ryan, who is on fresh tires at the moment. Of course, Dino running a longer stint. He is running on old mediums right about now. The Alpine running on new mediums, and he's still getting that overtake done. Actually still be able to pull alongside him. Probably those tires might still be a bit cold. Not fully up to temperature as yet on Ryan's car, so maybe having some problems, struggling a bit. Let's see as he gets into our next lap if he's going to have any sort of luck with that or not. So down the start finish straight they go here into the next lap, into lap 9 at the moment, getting through sector 1. I want to see if the Alpine is able to hold the position here, because Dino only a 10th or 2 behind. Might just be able to get this done, especially using the DRS. Oh, and has a bit of contact with Ryan's car. Resets on track, I'm not sure that was allowed, and the both of them having some problems here as Ryan got spun around with that. I didn't even notice that Ryan actually got spun around, just noticing his car at the side of the track. Now when he gets back going, that might be a bit of a situation with Dino there resetting that car on track. That was caught a bit fair-handed, so let's see what the guys are going to do about that. On with Wolsey at the moment, back out on track in P10. And let's see what he's running with. On to the hard tires here, so definitely pushing towards the end of the race on these. Of course, if a safety car does actually come around, he might think about switching on to our next set of softs, depending on what lap in the race is going to be. Hammer under pressure right now from losing that position there in the house. Let's see if he's able to keep it up 9th at the moment he currently has. Got Aaron, I think, falling down a few positions there. Not sure if he's into the pits yet or not. Penalties as it is right now, we're going to keep that off for the moment and leave it there so we can see what's going on in terms of pit stops. Wolsey to a 3:10 gap towards that Haas. Might be able to get an overtake done into this next lap here. Do have Aaron and Humble Hippo into the pit lane. Let's see what those two are going to do when they get back out. I think our gap here has gone back over a second, maybe just a little bit. We're on to lap 10 of 26. We still got about 16.5 laps to finish off this race. Not too much time, but still it's going to go by pretty quickly. Let's have a look what's happening out in front of these two here. Humble Hippo and Hammer, they're having some bit of a tussle. I've been kept their position so far going on through. Wolsey, of course, going to try to get past there as much as he can. They want to keep on board with Hammer, but see what's happening. So it's just a few tenths between them as the Haas tries to get ahead up into P8 as well. Under pressure though with the Ferrari behind of him on fresh hard tires. Going to push as much as he can, as those tires can actually last. Race leader is into the pits right now and had about an 8.1 second gap to Jake Kelly, who was running in second. Scuba back up into third. Let's see how that's going to work out with them going on there. Jake Kelly has not pitted as yet, as far as we know. Let's see where Blumchum does come back out, because I think he's not going to be able to hold back the leader as yet. Will be a few positions down. This depends on how much the gap actually was there. And Blumchum exiting, I think he's still in the pits there right now. Catwalls is still trying to gain a position here against the House of Hammer, not able to get by as yet. So still, let's see, continue as let's see if the Hard's actually going to pick up some pace as he gets further on into the race. So he's going to have to wait until Hammer pits in terms of getting that position up or not. I'm not sure as yet. We'll see how well that's going to go as we get on through this. Let's put tires on for a bit, have a look at what's happening on track, who's got fresh tires on, who doesn't. Still on with velocity at the moment. 3/10 is where the gap is. Blumchum back out on track, running just a tenth behind McLaren right about now. Let's have a quick look at that, see what's happening there as he tries to get around the outside. Not the best of luck. He's onto the set of mediums. 3-second penalty goes to Wazzy down in the back there. Ben Arfi out of this race. Angry Dutch guy out. 2 drivers lost, 13 left so far. Should be able to finish it off with the 13 we have, hopefully, or at least 10 and above. Hopefully that goes on through well. We'll see what's going to happen. Still a 110 gap between these two as they go side by side now. And looks like Blumchum might have the advantage, but just needs a safe portion on track to actually get that overtake done. Doesn't want to run the risk of getting a penalty at this point here. Was our previous race leader there, started P1, wants to keep that position as much as he can. He's going to push it through on the outside here and hopefully tries to get an overtake completely done, and looks like he does get back onto the race line, so he's ahead of the McLaren and he's up into P4. Not a bad position. 17 seconds separate them, actually about 14 seconds now, because cars in front of him are starting to pit. We got Jake Kelly and Scuba into the pits right about now. Toys R Us has not pitted in the races yet. 11 laps done on those set of mediums. We got Blumchum now up into second place. 13.6 seconds is what the gap is, and will get back the lead once that Ferrari in front of him does a pit stop. So I think he does have that advantage going for him. Trying to have a look on board, see what the heck is happening here. Yeah, both McLarens running just behind each other right about now. Of course, one of them has not pitted. Humble Hippo there in 5th. His teammate in front of him, Northern Star, has not done a pit stop as yet. Will have to do a stop. I think that's the only 2 drivers left. That's the McLaren of Humble Northern Star and Toys R Us, who's leading the race, are the only 2 to yet do a pit stop in this race, and we'll see how it goes when they actually get that stop done. Did have a few drivers do an early stop in the race, so we'll see how it works for them. That currently they have on in the pits, getting onto a new set of mediums there, I think. Let's see how fast this gap is going to go down between these two. 12.6 seconds is what it is between Toys R Us and Blumchum, who's trying to get back into the lead. I think we're going to let them be for the moment. Go down to Scuba here in the Mercedes, who's chasing after the Ferrari of Walsey in front of him. This is a fight, of course, for 8th position. Gap is about 5/10. Closest gap we have on grid at the moment. Do have the Williams of Dino chasing after them behind. He's gone down to about 5/10 as well. And he's having a much closer gap and much of a better run, chasing after the Mercedes right now. Let's see if he's able to get an overtake. He's right up to the rear. Hopefully doesn't touch. And looks like he gets ahead up into P9. Now going to try to get around the Ferrari as well, trying to do a double overtake here if he can. And looks like he actually got it done, so he's up into 8. Those mediums work pretty well, even though 8 laps done on them, as both of these cars now go into the pits. I think, or just one. I think both of them went into the pits there. So Dino is up into 8th position. He continues on into the race now. Let's see what his gap is going to be as he continues on out the front. Aaron in 3rd, still behind Blumchum here. These two did start P1, P2 in the race, and they're back at it again, as far as we know. Let's see what's going to happen as did start P1, P2, right? I guess we got that wrong. No, actually Aaron started right there in 3rd. My bad on that. So he's got back his position. Going to try to follow Blumchum though, out for another position out in front if he can here, because he will have to get past him in order to take over the lead of the race. So see if he's going to be able to pull that off on that lap 13 of 26. We're at a halfway point of the race, and Still got a Ferrari leading by about 10.6 seconds, but of course he's losing time as we get further into the race here, and he will have to do a stop. 12 laps done on the medium, so I guess he's going to do another 3 or 4 laps before thinking about doing a stop here. Might run the final 10 laps in this race on the soft tires and see what's going to happen. Got Aaron and Blumchum fighting it out for second place right about now. Looks like the Red Bull gets ahead, so that's Aaron up into P2. Blumchum loses that position even on fresh tires as well. He's having some difficulty in this race so far as we gotten through it. It has a pretty close gap still, 3 tenths. We'll have the DRS advantage getting through the next lap there in lap 14, so let's see if he's able to get by as he continues on with that. We're going to get on board a bit here with Alpine and see how this is actually playing out with them here at the moment. Jay Kelly and Humble Hippo, they're having a 5-10 gap as well, so pretty close gap between those two. See how that's actually working out, because that's going to put a split between the McLarens, because I think that's how we have a bit of a gap between them as well. And now Blumchum gets a penalty as well. Not going to work too well for him in terms of trying to win this race here against Donald's. They're having a penalty himself. So Don here and there up in P2, Blumchum's third. I think these two are going to fight it out to the end for the race win itself. Might be between the two of them, between Aaron and Blumchum, I'm not sure. Let's see what's going to happen as they get on through this. But Don Aaron having a pretty good run on track, because he's able to keep second place at the moment, even with penalties as it is. He needs to just increase the gap just to keep the situation as safe as he can between himself and Blumchum. Let's see what the gap currently is in terms of penalties, and it's a 6-second penalty for Aaron at the moment. Blumchum running at 3 seconds, so still has a pretty good chance of getting this done. Let's see what's going to happen. We got Toys R Us still needs to pit as yet. Gap is down to 7.7 seconds. It's starting to drop. Another penalty there for Toys R Us as well. And let's see how much for longer he's going to be able to push on through. Down with Jay Kelly here in P6. No penalties on him as he continues on with this race. I think at least 3 drivers so far with no penalties, so quite an easy track to actually get a penalty on, so they have to be extremely careful in terms of the race as they get on through it. But let's see how we're gonna have the race finish go. About 12 laps or so remaining, 11-12 laps or so remaining in the race here. So get on through this. Looking at the gaps that we have, Jay Kelly losing a bit of time trying to keep up with the McLaren in front of him, but having some problems doing that right about now. Hopefully he's going to be able to catch up and possibly get an overtake done before the end of the race, because we'll still be able to gain a position here up into P5, but I think he wants to get that car onto a podium position if he can at the end of this. That's why he's trying to avoid getting any penalties right now. But Ryan down at the back here having a pretty close run with Hammer there in front of him. Of course, Hammer not having a penalty in the Haas. Ryan though has penalties, so this might change the dynamic of that race battle up just a little bit. But they're still going to fight for positions as they get on through. It was a yellow flag situation for a second there. I think that's cleared away though as we get back here with these guys. 3/10 is what the gap is. DRS advantage to the Alpine, and does have that slipstream to work with as well. Still having a bit of a difficult time trying to get the overtake done. We got Torres finally into the pits for his first pit stop. Got Aaron there, 1:30.7 I think it was. Fastest lap so far. Finally have the Alpine trying to go around the inside, and looks like he might have gotten it done as the Haas goes a bit off track. Got a safety car, a full safety car at this point, and they dive directly into the pits here as they were just approaching that entrance and barely actually made it in. So this is going to be a bit of a change up. They're definitely going on to a set of soft tires to go off to the end of the race here right about now. At this point, final 10 laps to be done on softs, going to work to their advantage once they get that in. Torres Russ pitted at the exact same time there as well. Scuba out of the session in the Mercedes. Has 3 drivers out so far. These guys get a new set of tires on. Those out in front already passed the pit lane entrance, not able to do a pit stop under the safety car. Not sure if they will be able to be doing one as they get back around here to follow on behind the safety car as it is. We'll see what's going to happen, guys. Safety car is still on track. We haven't had the Q start to line up behind him as yet, so this is going to get quite interesting, because Ryan, Hammer, and a few other drivers are going to have a bit of a better run on the final 10 laps. If these guys out in front do not pit, there is a bit of a gap between them, not too much, it's a few seconds, so I think it's going to be quite close to determine whether they're going to be doing a pit stop here or not. But it's going down to the final 10 laps. They might do this, but they're going to watch on to the race. They're out in front here and there in P1. I think Blumchamp might actually jump into the pits and get a stop done. Let's see what's going to happen. Both McLarens running third and fourth. So a bit interesting. That doesn't look like the racer dived into the pits. He's still out on track. Hasn't taken a chance at it. Blumchamp, of course, as I said, is going to go in. He did go into the pits. Trying to have a look. Northern Star into the pits as well. Humble Hippo might actually do a stop here as well. But they're going to have to double stack those McLarens. They have an 8.3 second gap to them. And he's giving his teammates some room out in front. Driving on the speed limit in the pit lane, getting through. So they should be able to double stack the McLarens. Let's have a look and see how well that's going. And his teammate already gets out. He's going to get in right about now and have a wheel change going. Should be pretty quickly, as bit of an unsafe release though, because the Aston Martin got out in front of him here. So Jake Kelly got position up here after the pit stops. That's a bit of a disadvantage with double stacking cars in a pit lane. You can potentially lose a position or two, so they kind of split that up right about now. Jake Kelly has that advantage. Got back out in P5 instead of 6. Let's see if that's going to work for him. Gap out in front. Let's see what we got going on. So Toys R Us did a stop at a very interesting time there. Let's see what's going to happen as they finish up this race. Aaron currently running in the lead. Got Toys R Us in second. We got Blumchamp in third. Northern Star running fourth. Jake Kelly running fifth. We got Humble Hippo running sixth. Ryan in seventh. Hammer currently 8th. Dino currently 9th. Davon in 10th. Drew Cameron 11th. And Wolsey in 12th. But let's see how they go off to the end of this. Okay, so back on with this, let's have a look what's happening here. I think we do have the Aston Martin safety car running on this. Yep, we do. There's actually just noticed that as well. So, 12 drivers left off of 15 that started off this race. We're on lap 18 of 26. Gives us at least about 8 laps more to finish off this race. Let's see how well that's going to go. We should be able to go back racing at the end of this current lap that we're currently on here. So, let's see if that's going to work out. Advantage goes to who? Let's have a look. Toys R Us back up into the lead. Blumchamp running in second. Started P1. Let's see what that's going to work out. Toys R Us, of course, was leading the race before the safety car happened. He did have to do a stop. I was going to lose quite a few positions. Of course, safety car saved him just a bit. A lot of time, actually. We can't see how much time a safety car would save you. So Blumchamp running second. Northern Star up into third now. Jake Kelly running fourth. Humble Hippo in fifth. Let's see if that's going to work with them as they get back started. Jake Kelly, of course, got a jump on Humble Hippo after McLaren double stack. Both McLarens during that safety car to get a stop done. And we can see most of these cars are onto fresh soft tires here right about now. Blumchamp on a fresh set of mediums. Hopefully he does have the advantage with pace going forward with that. A safety car is going to be in on this lap. So we're about to get back racing here and hopefully going to have quite an interesting finish to the race as well. Of course, we do have that 5-lap sprint just after this as well, and that's going to close off our session. So let's see how the restart is going to go between Toys R Us and Blumchamp here. That Ferrari of Toys R Us, they're looking at a pretty good chance of getting a race win here. Just depending on penalties, of course, Northern Star there in P3. not having a single penalty, so he might have a good chance as well. We'll put penalties back on in just a bit and have a look to the final 3 laps or so of the race, see what's going to happen with that. Getting around to the final turn, let's see when that Ferrari decides to go, and he's already gone. They are now overtaking until they get across the line, and there, let's see if that's going to go through. Both McLarens might be fighting for positions here, because it looks like Humble Hippo trying to fight back for his P4 position against J. Kelly down at the back, because they're trying to have a look on how that's going on through with them. Doesn't look like it might end too well. The Aston Martin getting forced off a bit onto the side of the track here, and loses back the position, so J. Kelly back down to 5th. Humble Hippo gets back his position up into P4, and I think they're continuing with that. Ryan there chasing after him. The Alpine trying to get back up position here if he can. Trying to have a look at the cars all over the track here at the moment. We might have some contact depending on how this goes, and looks like Northern now takes a penalty as well. Hammer in the Haas there, the only driver without a penalty so far. Aaron in the Red Bull trying to get past the Alpine of Ryan here, and he does actually go side by side with him. Not sure if he's actually got the position as yet. Walty retires from the session. I think he's actually DNF out there in sector 2. So something's happened to his car. He might be off track, which is why he doesn't. Oh, there we go. So we do have a safety car for that, because he's stuck on track somewhere. So something definitely happened after that restart there. We're gonna have to do just one more safety car and then end off this race here. Gonna slow us down just a bit here. Has changed the order of just a bit as well after that final safety car result we just had. We got one more to go before closing off the race. Highly doubt we're gonna have any pit stops on this one here. They're gonna keep it going as it is there right now. Already on lap 19. We should be back racing into lap 21 hopefully. We're seeing how this is actually going to go as we get on through. They're out in front. Following on with Blumstrom here at the moment, chasing after Torres Ross, so still has to wait for the race to get back restarted before getting that going. So he's going to have a pretty good go, hopefully be able to get a jump on him on the restart we're about to have here pretty soon. Let's see if we're going to be racing back at the end of this current lap into lap 20 right about now. Hopefully we can go back racing at the end of lap 21. I'm not sure if I'll have to wait until lap 22. We'll see how it actually plays out as we get on the way with this right now. Get back on the overhead cam here if we can at the moment. So back again with the Aston Martin safety car getting through. Second safety car I think we had a few VSCs in the session so far. 11 drivers currently remain off of our 15 that we actually started the race with. What's just interesting qualifying sessions, some very competitive lap times there as well here at Silverstone. So got a pretty good race start going when we did get started. Has been a bit interesting with penalties coming so far. 1 drivers with no penalties, so I want to see if that's going to continue all the way to the end of the race. Going to be a bit of an accomplishment for him if he actually does pull it through, and going to improve his position as well, just depending on what the gap is going to be towards the car out in front. Waiting to see if we're going back restarting at the end of this lap. Hopefully we are, I'm not sure. Bit of time to get around the track, so hopefully everything has been cleared by the marshal so we can get back going. Do have one car down, all the way down at the back. They're still in sector 1, now getting to sector 2 I think. That is that one there, running 11th on fresh hards. I think he just took a stop, which is why that actually happened there. Getting into sector 3 of lap 20 here. Very limited laps left in this race right now. It is looking like we might be going one more lap under the safety car here, so we might have to just let that be. So as it stands right about now, grid order is Torres Ross leading the race, Blumstrom running second in the Alpine, Northern and Humble Hippo, both McLaren's third and fourth, J. Kelly, Aston Martin in fifth, Aaron in sixth, Ryan in seventh, Hammer eighth, Dino in ninth, Drew in 10th, and I have one down in 11th. He has gotten back up to the grid order, so let's see what that's going to work out for him. Safety car still going, so final lap here should be under the safety car before we are actually ready to get back started here. So let's see how this works out. So far so good as we have it. Everyone back up right behind the car that they do need to be behind. So let's have a look at penalties on this as we go down to the end of the race. 6-second penalties for the race leader there. Blumstrom with a 3-second penalty. Needs to keep a 3-second gap towards the Ferrari in front, and he can win the race still. Northern running on a podium position still with a 3-second penalty. Humble Hippo though 8 seconds of penalties. J. Kelly only 5, so those two they need. J. Kelly will need a 3-second window there to deal with that penalty in terms of getting up into fourth. Bounty more than 3 seconds, that would be Humble Hippo getting fourth. We got Aaron there at a 9-second penalty. Ryan only a 3-second. These are 6-second gap between them are under to get up a position. Of course, Hammer there 5 tenths behind so far. Only no penalties for him, so he stands a pretty good chance gaining a position or two depending on what the gaps are going to be. And then 3 seconds with the remaining 3 drivers behind. So going to get a bit interesting when this restart happens, because we're going to have just a few laps to go. That's going to be, I think, 5 laps total left in the race, so going to make it a bit interesting. Okay, they're definitely going to push as much as they can, being everyone's still on fresh tires getting through. They're all going to be pushing as much as they can on these tires to get to the end. I think a lot of weaving going to be happening right about now, getting into Sector 3, just to make sure those tires are up to temperature to get back going. Have to just maintain brake temp as well, just to make sure they do not overheat as they get back on the way with this, and make sure that they're not too cold, because they're definitely going to have some problems when all of that does happen. Safety car going to be in this lap, about to get back racing as we close off Sector 3 here on lap 21. Unfortunate for our 4 drivers there, Walsey, Scuba, Ben Harvey, and Angry Dutchker, who are not able to finish this current race. Okay, so getting back started race, let's see how that restart actually goes with them. Both McLarens are adjusting switch positions there, so Humble Hippo up into P3 after turns 1 itself. Let's see how that continues on with them going through. Trying to have a look what's happening in the back with Jay Kelly trying to gain the position of the McLaren of Northern Star here. And he's still going to get around the Red Bull coming just behind them, so he's trying to push for a position as well. Quite a few position changes as we get on through with this. Of course, Hammer, there's still no penalties on him. Only at 2 tenths behind the Alpine of Ryan, so he's definitely going to try to gain that position if he can. Humble Hippo all the way down to 9th, lost quite a few positions. Not sure if he had a spin or not, but not having the best of restarts here as these cars are getting back through in the race. Blumchum, they're still 3 tenths behind, and she's going to try to keep the gap within 3 seconds just to get away with a race win here for the British Grand Prix if he can. 2.2 seconds for Northern Star just down behind, so not the best of gap that he currently has there. Aaron there 2 tenths behind Jay Kelly. He's going to try to get a position up, as is Ryan there in P6. Let's see how that's going to work out. Looks like Jay Kelly down a position, Aaron up a position here, and still trying to go side by side with this one. Have a look behind what's happening here at the moment. You can see the Haas of Hammer trying to come out behind, using the slipstream as much as he can to gain positions here. Still on that restart lap 22 here, getting through. Should be into lap 23 pretty soon. Gaps are closing and staying as close as they are. Blumchum down to about 3 tenths. Needs to get that overtake done if he wants to get across the line P1 and hopefully keep that position there into the next lap. Let's see how this is going to go as they get on through. They're all going to have a bit of a slipstream off of each other getting through, the gaps being this close. And of course, DR's advantage should be back online pretty soon, if not already. They really actually pay attention to that, what's happening with it at the moment. So Aaron, they're trying to get onto a podium position. 12 seconds of penalties though, not going to work too well for him. Hammer, they're getting up into P6 against Ryan, who's now down into 7th, followed by Drew down there in 8th. Humble Hippo all the way down to 9th after that safety car restart. Not the best of restarts for him. He's trying to keep that going if he can. Going to keep an eye on the gap out in front to Torres and Blumchum for the race. We'll see what's happening with those two, because the gap is still a 3-second gap for him to get away with a race win. Right now, so what separates them is just about 5 tenths at the moment. Aaron about 4 tenths right now behind the McLaren here. Let's have a look on board, see how this is going for him. They need to avoid getting any more penalties here right about now. Jay Kelly now gets a 3-second penalty, and that's going to be added to his time there. Now Aaron now 12 seconds at the moment that he currently has. A 10th is what he has behind the McLaren. Might be able to get his overtake done around the outside. He's going to push it through right about now. Let's see if he's able to find his way around the McLaren and might actually get up into 3rd. Goes a bit wide off track, doesn't take another penalty, possibly took a warning there as out in front. Torres and Blumchum are fighting for positions there as well. Going to follow on with these two at the moment as they get into the next lap here. That's lap 24. DRS is now online for the final 2.5 laps that we have remaining. And is dealing with the fastest lap so far, 1:30.5 with the Williams running P10. He is, of course, leading the championship at the moment as it is, I believe. Yes, I'll take a look at that. I think that was what it was. Yep, he is currently leading that. Significant lead that he currently has and going through with this. There goes Blomstrom taking away the lead now in lap 24. He gets back out in front, gets about a 6:10 gap already. Has only 3-second penalty. Torres Russell is now down to second, has a 6-second penalty, so he's quite clear in terms of keeping his race win here this evening. Saw the P1, wants to finish P1. Let's see if he's going to be able to at this point, getting on through with that. Now we're going to go on. Oh, and Torres Russell takes another penalty, so definitely affecting him right about now. Aaron in third, having 12 seconds of penalties. Northern Star in fourth, having 3-second penalty. So I think he's in a bit of a safer position out in front to take and keep that race win. We'll see how well it goes though. We still have Hammer. There are no penalties in this race. Aaron here trying to get past the Ferrari, and hopefully might actually be able to get his done, because he has a pretty close gap. The Ferrari, of course, keeping up with Blomstrom out in front. Still wants to get past him and get across the line in P1 if he can. Aaron now having another penalty. That's 15 seconds up for him. I think he has the most penalties here in the race so far to go off to the end. Top three, I think, are going to keep the gap as close as it is as they now go into lap 25. Aaron getting the fastest lap time here at 1:30.1, running in P3 with a 15-second penalty. Going to take him down quite a bit. Northern Star gets another penalty now, and that's with a 2.2-second gap. He will get up a podium position here, but still needs to keep this as clean as possible to avoid any issues going down to the end, because anything could happen. Drew is running a 9-6-10 gap. See, he's trying to keep that as close as he can there. Aaron here, of course, trying to get up into second against the Ferrari, but having a bit of a problem trying to get past him. Starting to run out of laps with just under 2 laps now remaining. That 3:10 gap might work out pretty well for Torres Rossi. He's trying to keep a car being as much as he can. That one there with another penalty, as we see quite a lot of penalties here for the session. We'll see how well that changes up positions as they get across the line. So far, Blomstrom, they're looking pretty good at keeping his position. Hammer looking at gaining a few after this race comes to an end. With the way the gaps are running at the moment, he might actually be able to make up into a podium position here. If he might stand a pretty good chance of that. Kelly gets up a position here against Northern Star. He's up into fourth now. Even with that 13-second penalty, might still get a good position. Humble Hippo gains a position against Hammer there as well. Let's see if that's going to hold going all the way through, because only a 10th is what it is, I think. Now up to 2 tenths. I think he's getting a bit of time, but still, Hammer should be able to get at least a 4th or 5th, maybe. We'll see. Into the final lap right about now. It's a 3:10 gap out in front between the top 2 or top 3, I gotta say, as it is right now. Let's see if they're able to keep the positions as it is going on through. True gets another penalty going on through. Hammer, there's still no penalty on him, and into the final lap. So let's see if he's able to keep it going this way, this clean, for just one more lap. And that was a purple sector there for Aaron as he now tries to go side by side with the Ferrari. Goes a bit off track, gets another penalty in terms of getting that fastest lap, so not working out as best as he would here. 18 seconds of penalties, 9 seconds for Torres Ross. They're currently running in second, so let's see if they're able to keep that going through. Or into sector 2 of the final lap and going here. That Alpine keeping that lead as much as he can. Doesn't have any more penalties associated with him. Just that 1 3-second penalty. So we'll be able to get across the line P1 and be able to keep it. I'm trying to see where Hammer is going to finish after he gets across the line. No penalties on his end. He should be able to get up at least the 4th, if not 3rd, onto a podium position here as they get through the final sector here right now. Got Aaron still trying to get around that Ferrari, even with the amount of penalties he has. Still pushing as much as he can to gain that position. He has to get across the line into second if he can, because I think he does want to do that. Got Blomstrom here, qualified, started the race P1, lost that position a bit, got it back again, and now gets across the line, takes the win for the British Grand Prix. And not a bad win there, keeps his position even with a 3-second penalty. And we got Hammer going all the way up to second place on the podium, and not a bad finish for him, driving the entire race. The only driver to finish a race with 0 penalties. Torres Ross finishes in 3rd, Northern Star in 4th, got Ryan in 5th, Drew in 6th, Dino takes 7, Jake Kelly takes 8, Aaron takes 9, the Humble Hippo takes 10 so far, and looks like Davon will have to take 11th on the grid as he is now getting across the line here. should be able to have a final look at that set of results there. So Hammer gets driver of the day as well as a podium position, but I think an excellent drive for him. No penalties in the race, does deserve getting that as well. Let's see who got the fastest lap through the end of the race there. Looks like that was actually Aaron there, down to 9 though. So, race winner Blumchum there for the British Grand Prix round 10 here with Interstellar Racing League. Hammer takes second place onto a podium there in the Haas just because of no penalties in the race. Toys R Us takes third on the podium position. Not a bad finish for him, getting across the line second though. Northern Star takes fourth. We got Ryan finishing in fifth. Of course, penalties change things up quite a bit. Got Drew finishing sixth. Dino takes seventh. Jay Kelly takes eighth. Aaron takes ninth and fastest lap there. And then Humble Hippo takes 10th. We got Davon finishing 11th. Unfortunate for a few drivers who are not able to finish the race. And they're in, I think that's it for this session here. We're going to get to that 5 lap sprint race. I think the guys do it after this here with a reverse grid order. It should be, so we're waiting to see if that's for the session here. And yep, driver of the day for Hammer as well, so not a bad finish for him. Alright, so I believe we are going to that 5 lap sprint race, so just give the guys a second to sort things through in terms of the grid order and see what that puts us towards to. Alright guys, on to with the 5-lap session here right about now, getting started. Let's see how that starts as well, on a wet start as well, so gonna be quite interesting to see how well they actually get off with this, as we got cars going all over the track and into the wall. I'm not sure what happened at the back there with that one, but that was straight into the pit, so I'm not even sure what the heck he just did. But let's see what's happening out in front. We got Aaron's continuing to lead off with the race right about now. Now let's leave that on tires. Everyone running on the intermediates, of course. Dina running in second, and he keeps that position going at the moment. Doesn't look like we have gonna have any issues continuing on through. They should get that off track pretty quickly. So 2 drivers out of the session. Not even sure what happened with the back there. I think that might have been a bit of an error on the guys end, a bit of a mistake. I don't think that was intentionally done, but we'll see what's happening. Dino gets up into the lead. That's a Red Bull of Aaron down into second. Still trying to get it back as he now pushes back at wrong. Jake Kelly and Ryan coming just behind him at third and fourth. We got Drew in fifth, Hammer running sixth at the moment. Of course, finish the previous race with no penalties. Humble Hippo out already. It's only a 5-lap race. We already got 3 drivers out without getting into sector 3. So getting quite interesting so far. 10 to 10 drivers remaining out of 13. Let's see what happens as we get on through with this and go pretty close gaps as they continue on through so far. Trying to have a look down in the middle of the grid, see what's going on with Ryan and Drew there as well. Pretty close gaps between them. Blumchum, previous race winner here, running in 7th at the moment. 3:10 gap towards Hammer out in front of him. Let's see how that's working for him so far. Out in front, Jay Kelly trying to get a position up on Dino currently, who's second and is up to a 10th right now. Is that a gap is? So let's see if he's still able to get that done. Bit of a light rain session that we got going on here for the sprint race right about now. Let's leave tires on. I'll just leave that on. Penalties there, and see we got that going through at the moment. And gap out in front now up to 1.2 seconds between Aaron and Dino. So he having a pretty good run getting through. Aaron gets our fastest laps getting through into lap 2 at the moment. Of course, it's only 5 laps, so still going to be just a short race, and it definitely will push as much as you can, especially your wet session. Going to be making it a bit interesting as well. Get back down to in the midfield here with Drew, trying to get past the Haas of Hammer here, but not getting that luck as yet. I'm of course going to try to keep this as clean as he can through this race. 10 seconds of penalties for Northern in the McLaren. There are 10 drivers remain in the race from 13, and hopefully we can get all 10, finish it off as we get on through this run here. 2 tenths behind Jay Kelly in the Aston Martin. He's trying to get around him, not having that best of luck right about now. We should be getting to lap 3 pretty soon. Out in front, Aaron continues to lead with Dino there in second, a 1.6 second gap. Jay Kelly in third, another 1.4 second. 5 tenths down is where Ryan in the Alpine is chasing after the Aston Martin right now. Drew down in the back there, just a 10th behind Blumchum right about now. That gap is starting to go up just a bit as we're about to switch it out. Scuba in the Mercedes down in 8th. Yeah, trying to have a bit of a run against Drew there to try and get that position up if we can, but it doesn't seem like he's having the best of luck trying to keep this out in front here. And down in the midfield, actually, let's have a look, see how everyone's getting on through. Down in the back, looks like Scuba is trying to get past Drew though, not having the best of luck. Let's see if he's able to catch up. Not sure if the rain is easing off or not. I think it'll be kind of constant getting through the rest of the session. So it should be the full 5 laps on these intermediates getting on through, because I highly doubt that rain's going to ease off at any point in the next lap time for us to even be able to do a switch. I highly doubt the track will drive that quickly. So going to be under intermediates for the entire 5 laps. They're already into lap 3. Aaron gets the fastest lap once again. They're out in front, leading the race with Dino running in second, Jay Kelly running third, Ryan still running fourth. We got a switch between Blumchum and Hammer here happening as those two are trying to go side by side. End off with Hammer into P5, Blumchum 6th. I think it might just continue that way for now. Let's see any more changes that will happen. Bit of a gap starting to form out in front. I guess going about a second or 2 is where the gaps are currently are at. Northern having a bit of a spin there, I think. He's trying to get back going. Had a bit of a flat situation where he is on track. I think he's clear again. And being caught up by Toys R Us now, who's about 2.2 seconds behind of him. So let's see if he's going to keep that going on through. 3:10 gap here at Blumchum and Hammer as they continue into lap 3 right about now. Of course, Blumchum going to try to get another win if he can. Going to have a bit of a difficult time with that though, because he's had to start further down the order. And he's going to have to fight his way through in just a full 5 laps time. And he's already up into 6th still running. So let's see how much positions more he's able to gain. Trying to chase after the Haas of Hammer here. Not able to get by right away. He's trying to look for a gap to get through, but has to be careful on which portion of the track or which sector in the track he actually tries to get this done. He needs to keep that overtake as clean as possible. Doesn't have a lot of time in this race to get a comeback, so he's not going to pull alongside the outside of the Haas and try to get this overtake done. Let's see if that's actually going to work for him or not. Needs to get enough pace and possibly try to outbreak him a bit in terms of getting that position up here. So still holds on to 6, only a 10th between them. Might try a bit of late braking here. Actually, just holds it on true for now. Doesn't want to risk it right now. Aaron once again gets the fastest lap. Looks like he's running pretty well in the wet, as he now has a 3.5 second gap against Dino, who's currently in second. We're back on with the Alpine of Blomchum here, trying to chase after Hammer. His teammate, next Alpine, running in fourth with Ryan there. So we got a Haas stuck in the middle of them. Let's see if that's going to do him any good or not. Drew, of course, just 4 tenths behind this as we're now into lap 4 and going. And we can see that the Drew, they're trying to get an overtake done against Blomchum as well. But I think Blomchum a bit more focused in terms of getting past car in front of him. Ryan there and trying, I think he's fall back just a bit. That's how we're trying to get past him if he can't. Getting a bit dicey out there on track with the rain as it is. Track would have maybe gained a bit of grip on the racing line itself, but still gonna be a bit hard with these guys trying to keep their positions as it is right now. Blomchum still trying to get a position up, not able to do this here. 2 drivers with penalties so far, 10 second and a 2 second. We'll see how that works at the end for the race for them. Not gonna work out well for Northern because he's already down in 10th. Could potentially work out for Drew to keep his position there, because his car behind of him is 9.3 seconds behind. So let's see how that works for him actually. Blomchum here just behind the Haas, right up behind of him, not able to get an overtake done as yet. Hammer just making it a bit difficult in terms of car placement out in front. So he's still going to put a bit of pressure on him. Of course, he's more focused on getting past Ryan in front in fourth at the moment there. So trying to see how that's going to go between these three as we're about to go into the final lap. Race leader Aaron there now goes into the final lap. Another 2 second penalty now for Blomchum here. Drew with a 2 second penalty. And fastest lap once again for Aaron. Looks like he's going to get a race win and fastest lap here for the sprint race. Let's see if that's going to be the case as these two go side by side trying to fight for that position. Both Alpines might get a bit mixed up in this here as well. Just depends on how well or bad this is going to go into the final lap of the sprint race to finish off this session. In fact, we might have a bit of glitching happening there as well, not sure. But out in front, looks like Aaron leading quite well with the gap that he currently has there. Blomchum still chasing after the pass here, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get his overtake done before this final lap is over. Less than a lap here to go before this race is actually over, so let's see what's happening in that case as we get around. Aaron leading quite well though, 6.4 seconds. He runs quite well in the wet, so we'll have to keep an eye out for him whenever it's a wet race going on. Dylan there running second, has a pretty close gap though with Jay Kelly falling off after him. Gap already down to a 10th as that Aston Martin wants to get up into second place on the podium here before they get across the line. We'll see how that's going to work out with them. Position changes as it is. We can see Aaron gained 2 positions off the start and he's looking to finish P1 and take a race win here. We'll see if that's going to happen or not with him, as I think he's about to finish up this race here, because already in the end of sector 3 to get across the line right about now. Takes the run in the Red Bull there, and that's a win for the sprint race here for the British Grand Prix for him. Dylan's going to come across the line second in the Williams. He'll be able to keep that position with no penalties there, and Jay Kelly should be able to get across the line, take third. Ryan will take fourth. We got Hammer coming across, he will take fifth. We got Blomchum taking 6th right about now. Scuba takes 7th as he will get across and got past Drew there, who's now going to have to take 8th. Got Northern will take 9th at the moment. And then Toys R Us, not sure what's happening with his car. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get across the line to take a higher position. I think he was going to be able to get a better position. Not sure what happened to him exactly. I think is he a bit disconnected? I'm not entirely sure, but that car will get across the line without a front wing as it is. But yep, interesting win there from Aaron, and then Dino and Kelly on the podium positions there this race as well. So not a bad 5 laps. I think we're just going to wait for the Ferrari to get across the line. That's going to be it. I think he just end out the session either way. Just saved us a bit of time, so not too bad with that. Anyway, let's have a look at the preliminary results here for the sprint race as well. Hammer gets driver of the day once again, so not too bad. 2 sessions in a row with him. Well, And we got a Red Bull on pole, so not a bad session. So race winner here for the sprint race for the British Grand Prix goes to Aaron there. Dino finishes second on the grid, and of course Aaron gets fastest lap as well. Jake Kelly takes third on the podium. Ryan taking fourth. Hammer finishes fifth with driver of the day once again. Blumchum in sixth, was not able to get past. Scuba there in seventh. Drew in eighth. Northern finished ninth. And unfortunate for the rest of the drivers who could not finish. Charles was 10th, Humble Hippo 11th, Ravon 12th, and Walsey there in 13th at the moment. So not a bad session from Interstellar Racing League, so quite interesting. Hopefully everyone enjoyed watching that. Thank you guys for joining on the session. I think we're going to end off the session there as it is right about now. Hopefully everyone has already left a like on the stream there, and yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, guys. So thank you guys for joining on the session, and I'll see you guys on the next race session we should have coming up on Sunday with Slipstream Racing. So I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna close out the session right here.